Good morning, Nichola. I'm
Good
Tracy
morning.
from Interiors Monthly. It's really lovely to meet you.
Hi, Tracy. I'm Nichola Bell from Alpha Designs, the sales director.
Lovely. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us today. And we're looking forward to hearing all about you and your business. So could you tell me a little bit, first of all, about you, about your background? How did you get into the furniture industry?
Well, I've always been in sales my whole life. I've worked for various industries, starting with 10 years in the travel industry. I've worked for many blue chip companies, including the Mars Corporation, which was super interesting and great training. But each sector has taught me something different.
Quite a jump
Um,
from travel to furniture. I was just going to say, how did
yeah.
that happen?
Well, I knew nothing about the furniture industry before I joined, and I got an opportunity to be interviewed by a well-known Italian leather manufacturer and thought it sounded exciting, less corporate, let's give it a go for a change. Many of my customers will remember that they first met me at the Cologne show with just 1 week's experience under my belt, but I quickly fell in love with the industry and the customers and decided to give it a go. 16 years later, I'm still here.
Fantastic, fantastic. Do you think there are skills that you've transferable skills that you brought across from the travel industry into furniture?
Yeah, I think, as I said, there's depending on which industry you've been in, the skill set remains the same. And I've taken skills and learned skills from each different company I've worked for, and some brilliant ones. And yeah, it's at the end of the day, it's still the passion for the product that's important.
Great. Okay. So tell me about your typical working day. I just want to say that I noticed your background, which is quite interesting. Are you working from home at the moment?
I am today. The beauty of my role as sales director is that every day is different. I split my time between being in the factory, working from the office, or seeing customers and visiting stores. It's a difficult balance, and sometimes I wish I could clone myself and do more of everything. I certainly don't wish for more hours in the day, because I would definitely fill them. But I love the mixture of the commercial and the design aspect that I get from my role.
Brilliant. Okay, sounds like you've got quite a varied, like no 2 days are the same, really.
Absolutely.
So on that basis then, and by the way, it looks amazing wherever you're working from. It looks really cozy there. Do you think that hybrid working has its advantages?
I mean, this has come about since COVID, and thankfully my husband built me a lovely office in the garden, the she shed as we call it, and it just gives me that opportunity to have the peace and quiet and concentrate. I personally couldn't work from home all the time. I need that personal interaction, and I think there are certain times you do need to be in the office. I think hybrid working has been a benefit to a lot of people. I think it's given companies be able to offer flexible working, which has been important. I do believe you've got to have that mix, though.
Yeah, I remember during lockdown spending so much time behind a screen, and I think it does make a difference, doesn't it, to have that kind of personal face-to-face interaction. Do you think hybrid working has had particular benefits for women in the workplace? Have you seen benefits in your work environment?
Um, yeah, certainly. I think the flexible working for women has allowed possibly more women to return to work, because it gives them, enables them to juggle all the things that a busy mum has to juggle with family life. Um, yeah, I think it's been a positive thing and allows people to enter the workplace.
Yeah, I wonder how much of an impact that's had on the actual furniture industry itself in terms of changing the way that people work, whether that's given opportunities for more people to come into the industry, perhaps.
Yeah, I think, as I say, being allowing people to enter back into the workforce, regardless of the industry. But there's so much more to our industry than actually physically making a product. The back office roles can easily be done with flexible hours.
Like you say, it gives you that kind of bubble to concentrate in, doesn't it? That maybe you wouldn't get if you were surrounded by other people. Yeah, interesting. So, you've been involved in the furniture industry for quite some time now. How do you think it's changed from when you first started?
The way we do business is slightly different in terms of, people have always said the industry is a cottage industry, and that remains true to a certain degree. But with the growth of online retailers, many manufacturers have seen a need to offer different services, and Alpha Designs is certainly one of them. We offer CGI imagery for a lot of our products, which allows retailers to turn something on very quickly. And also the seasonality of buying, I think, has changed. Customers are wanting a lot more product quickly rather than in set seasons. Thankfully, we sell such a gorgeous, tangible product that the old-fashioned way of presenting product is still best in the flesh.
Yeah, yeah. I suppose there's always going to be a market for that, isn't there? For people that want something a little bit more premium, if you like, a bit more exclusive, rather than, mass manufactured for an online shop. And I'm thinking particularly about some of the apps that are popping up, like Wish and Temu and so on. I mean, do you feel that they are a threat to the industry, or do you feel that maybe it gives you an advantage in terms of being able to offer something a bit more premium?
I think you've got to have the mix is here. There's nothing we can do about it. And there are some good online retailers, but we massively support our high street retailers, because there's nothing better than falling in love with a piece of furniture when you're sitting on it, touching it, feeling it. And that's important. And our retailers do a really, really good job on the high street. So I do think you've got to have a mixture of both, because it's here.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's like trying on a pair of shoes, isn't it? It's sitting in the sofa. It's very different seeing it in a picture than it is to actually trying it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So, just to ask, we've talked about the changes, obviously rapid changing landscape. You're a small business in the furniture industry. What could the industry itself do to support you? And is there anything that you think government could do to support you more?
Based on the actual industry itself rather than individual companies, we've got a brilliant industry, the furniture industry in the UK, and we do need to be shouting about it more. And I'd like it to be recognised as the strong industry that it is, and for the skill set to be increased or encouraged. That there's so much opportunity for our industry. Colleges, offering upholstery courses, and to make it more attractive for young people, not necessarily just young people, anybody to join the industry, so that we keep that skill set and those jobs localized, from manufacturing to design, media, CGI, fabric technology, retail sales. There's so much opportunity. Are people aware of it?
Yeah, definitely. And interesting, you mentioned colleges as well, that maybe there could be more of a push on that, in terms of encouraging young people and young women as well. I mean, do you feel like there should be more young women encouraged to join the industry?
I think men and women, to be fair. As I
Yeah.
say, it's such a broad spectrum. It's not necessarily just the hands-on physical aspect of making the furniture. Fabric and design lends itself very well to the female skill set.
Yeah. So tell me about something that you've got coming up. Have you got a new product about to be launched, or anything exciting that you'd like to share with us?
Well, we just had a great January furniture show, and we launched 9 new products. So we're frantically getting ready to take that to market. So that was a huge launch for us. It was a great show because we also won Best of British Award, which was fantastic for Alpha to be recognised by the industry. And again, British made.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We're constantly working on new product for our group businesses, and obviously the January Furniture Show is geared for our independent retailers. And the next time we're showing will be Manchester, which is always a great show. It's fun. It's in July. The sun shines in Manchester, so it'll be here in no time.
Yeah, time's going quickly, isn't it? It'll be summer before we know it. So, what do you think makes your company stand out from the crowd?
We're a relatively newcomer to the industry, and I've always had the belief that there's always a solution. Move quickly, and keep it simple to give the customers what they want. It's a young company with a can-do attitude.
Brilliant. Okay, so I'd really like to find out a little bit more about you now, if that's okay. So tell me a little bit about what you do in your spare time. What do you do to relax?
Well, I recently took up paddleboarding, so I try to get out on the lake as often as I can, which is in Southport on the Marine Lake. So it's great for nature, fresh air, and whilst I'm desperately trying not to fall in, I'm not thinking about sofas. So it does the trick.
So well-being so important. How important do you think it is that people, particularly in the furniture industry, just take time off and relax and get that space?
I think in any industry, in senior roles, you can just go and go and go and go and not stop. I'd like to say I'm a big promoter of taking time out and going, having a walk halfway through the day. I don't do it enough. I should listen to myself more, but it is important for that work-life balance, and you do get so much more out of yourself when you do take a break. I mean, we all know it. It's just putting it into practice, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. As I say, I think maybe that's one good thing that did come out of the pandemic, is that we were all so much more aware of our mental health and our well-being, and actually how much more productive people can be when they do have that space and that break.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, it's been really lovely speaking to you today.
And you?
Thank you so much. What have you got planned for the rest of the day?
Oh, an inbox that looks like that. So yes, I'll get cracking.
Great. Okay. Well, I won't hold you up any further. I can say thank you so much for your time. Okay, so if people want to find out more about Alpha, or they want to get in touch and find out more about your products, how could they do that?
Contact me on LinkedIn, Nichola Bell. Give me a call. Contact the office, sales@alphadesigns.co.uk.
Perfect. All right. Thank you very much. Lovely speaking to you today, and I hope you have a
Take
lovely
care.
rest of your day. Thank
Thank
you.
you. See you now.
Bye.
Bye bye.